What's up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? Welcome back to Art by Flan. This week we've got a little pinup inspired piece of one of my original characters, and she's a bit of a stumper, this one. So her name is Aulis, and she is kind of this species that I made up. I'm hesitant. Well, I guess it is technically a species within the world, but it's not like one of those adoptable species or whatever. And I first made her when I was in high school. Kind of a mishmash of things I enjoyed at the time. And if you go on my Instagram and look back, you can kind of see that I've drawn her a few times and that I showed you the redesign of her character over 10 years later. But I'm also working on redoing her story, and I just am getting nowhere. Which is why I was really excited to draw this piece, but when it came to time to talk about it and talk about her as a character, I knew it was going to be difficult because I don't have a lot to say in the way of her story. Like, her original story was a complete ripoff of, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that old manga, Princess I think like Courtney Love worked on it or something. It didn't age well, but it was still one of my personal favorites. I really enjoyed the art style, and it's a shame I don't think the artist who did it has done much else besides that. But I really love this style, and I really love the designs and things of the characters. And when I was working with a friend of mine, he had this sort of story he wanted to write, and he wanted me to be a part of it. And so I created my character, Aulis, here to be a part of that story. And her original backstory was like done in middle school, and it was like a complete ripoff of some of the elements from the Princess I manga. And so when I redesigned her, I also wanted to rewrite her story, but I'm having trouble doing that. I just can't find a story that I completely like for her, but I have some basics down, and I can tell you about those. What I can tell you is that Aulis comes from a magic wielding people, and they have a special connection to their land and to their magic, specifically fire and sun magic. I know when I draw her, I have a lot of like sun motifs because her people are very focused on worship of the sun and magic of fire that they attribute to the sun, so they focus on that. She, in past incarnations, was the reincarnation of the sun goddess, and I think I'm gonna keep that in some aspect. I know that like I gave kind of a brief story because my friend ended up rewriting that story he wanted to write, so I kind of came up with something on the fly to give him to work with, but I don't know if I was going to keep that as her official one, but I am going to keep some parts of it. So I think a lot of indecision in this video. I'm sorry, guys. If you came here to learn about this character, this is not the video for it. This is just me having a brainstorming session while you guys watch me do line art and stuff, which, by the way, I had so much footage for this piece. I didn't realize I had so much footage for this. Like, half of the video, like 4 minutes of line art and 4 minutes of coloring. It's an 8-minute video, so I mean, it sort of evened out as a half and half. I don't like the line art segments to be too long on my videos. I know some people have said they like the long line art segments, which I could leave them as they are, make them longer if that's what you guys want to see, but I tend to think they're kind of boring, I guess? I don't know, which in retrospect is kind of weird because you get to kind of see the messy sketch go from like messy sketch to the actual clean line art, as opposed to shading where it's just me drawing in the shades. I don't know. Let me know in the comments which ones you guys like better, if you'd like to see longer shading portions or longer inking portions, or if everything is just fine the way it is. I need to stop tweaking it. But back to Aulis here. So I'm keeping the theme that she's the reincarnation of her people's sun goddess. Now, I know this isn't going to take place on Earth, maybe another dimension or realm or plane of existence or something, but that's definitely true. But so that's what she sort of is. She's this kind of magic wielding princess of her people, reincarnation of a sun goddess type person. That's what I've got going so far. And she ends up falling in love with sort of, I won't say it's her people's rival, maybe at one point in time, but they're an angel based people. Not like they look like you know what? I'm gonna drop that anyway. I have a little bit of it on my Instagram if you want to go through there and look. Because like I said, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm pretty much using this video as a brainstorming session for these characters. But anyway, the actual piece itself, I love Aulis as a character. I love the way I redesigned her. Because what I've done is I sort of just flattened her out completely. She has absolutely no chest, but she has these wide birthing hips, and I don't know what it is about this body shape, but I absolutely adore to draw her with it. And it's fun. It's so much fun from what I usually do, and I just really, really enjoy it. So there's a lot of her in like my sketchbook tours and on my Instagram and stuff. Key features to note, she does have pointy ears, horns, and a tail. Like I said, those are common traits of her people. The horns can come in all shapes and sizes depending on who has them, the family they come from, and things like that. A lot of other things I do with her is a lot of golden motif. That's another common thread throughout my artwork, golden jewelry. I don't know. I don't have an affinity for golden jewelry or anything. I think it just looks nice on the characters when I do draw them with it. She used to have sort of like animal feet. I don't know if I'm going to keep those. Like, I've drawn some pictures of her with them, but I can't make them work for me anatomically. So I think I'm going to scrap them. I think they're super cute in some perspectives, but most of the time they're just kind of big and bulky, and to make them make sense, I'd have to alter her leg structure. And it's just not something I'm willing to do, so I may just scrap them entirely and just give her human feet with like sharp nails or something. They were sort of kind of supposed to be animalistic, sort of. That sounds sort of bad. They were just supposed to be like animal based. They had, you know, animal features, just the way their species evolved from whatever their original evolution point was. It certainly wasn't the same as it is on Earth. Y'all, I'm really rambling this video. Like I said, I knew this was going to be a hard one for me to do because I don't have a lot of her nailed down, but I really enjoyed drawing this piece, and I really enjoyed working on it, and I definitely wanted to share it. So I just kind of thought I'd go with the flow here and see whatever bubbled out when I spoke. So I'm just doing the highlights now. As you can tell, like by shading, it's always one color, and then I go back and sort of tweak it and make it look better. You can't really see the highlights on her hair. I could see it on one monitor, but on the other I couldn't, so I guess it just depends on your screen. That's one of the biggest drawbacks, I think, of digital art, is that it looks different to everybody. Like, even to me, I have two different screens, and they're not calibrated to be similar. Because my Cintiq is much older and my monitor is much newer, so I've tried to make a match before, but it didn't quite work. But that's the one downside of digital art, is it looks different for everybody depending on their monitor settings. So you just kind of have to take with a grain. I have to sort of take with a grain of salt that the colors I'm producing are the colors I want people to see, because I have tons of different monitors in my house, and the colors on everything look completely different, and it's really frustrating, and I don't care for it. So I should be shifting into the final piece here. If you like what you see, don't forget to click that like button. You could always leave a comment down below, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and hey, you can always hit that subscribe button to get a new piece from me every single week in your inbox. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye!